from the onset, I want you to understand that we are going to take a historical approach. That's why a historical approach to understanding stereotypes. We are going to talk about the who, the what, the when, the where, so that you understand all of the dynamics about how stereotypes are still in play in our contemporary society. Some people tell you we are in a post-racial America. That's what they'll tell you. But as you know, as individuals lined up in that ballroom last night that we saw, okay? In the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I got to say about that. So we're going to look at it from a history standpoint and bring it all the way up to the present. A stereotype, now this is going to be very important as we continue on in the discussion, is a widely held but fixed. That means it doesn't change. That means it stays the same. That means if you are one way, you're not able in any other possible way to be any different. Fixed and oversimplified. It means it doesn't take into account that you can go through one thing, one experience one day and have one emotional event, and then go through that same thing the next day and have a different response to it. Okay? A widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. What we're going to do, start at the beginning of the mindset from where these stereotypes come from, and then the caricatures or the images that people constructed based off of those that mindset, those stereotypes that they've created. And then we're going to talk about how those stereotypes are working today. And based on that information, I'm going to give you some suggestions on how it is that you can maneuver better so you can live, learn, and work better, i.e. in your social interactions. If you are in school, if you're a student, if you are in an educational arena, or if you in your work environment, very important to understand that when people look at you and they've never met you, they come sometimes, a lot of times, with certain ideas and connotations about who it is that you are. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about the mindset where these stereotypes come from. This wonderful, kind gentleman, the third president of the United States, wrote in the notes to the Commonwealth of Virginia that the Negro has no ability to create or invent. They can only produce what they have seen and mimic like a parrot the information that they've been given. The Encyclopedia Britannica in the 1800s wrote that the Negro population, that blacks, that Africans, have never created anything positive or contributed in any way to the civilizing of the world. When history be told that universities in Guinea and Timbuktu were the places where Europeans like, and I know you've heard a couple of these names, Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, the sophists came down to study in your math class, Pythagoras. There were no universities in Europe, and they came into Africa to study. But yet, the people haven't created anything. Okay? That there were successful civilizations in South Africa, in East Africa, all right, Great Zimbabwe, and Mali, Songhai, and other kingdoms in Western Africa. I talk about them in my DVD that I have today, What the History Books Forgot African Contributions to World Civilization. It talks about the civilizations that were here prior to the slave trade and prior to the time when that Encyclopedia Britannica listing was written. And then European explorers said We saw African people when we went down to the continent of Africa who had tails, who climbed in trees. And what all of those things did, it created a mindset of understanding people of African ancestry. Some people say, oh, no, it didn't. Well, somebody in my first class raised their hand and said 3 days ago, a young lady with her mother said, Mom, I don't see his tail. And this just happened recently. So these stereotypes are still with us in some shape, form, or fashion.